Take a look at your screen. Here is video shot only moments ago by our very own cameras. Now, you see these agitators were arrested only moments ago. Again, we're told, Lexus just told us, there have been dozens of arrests tonight. And here with more reaction to what's going on in the situation in New York on the campus of Columbia University. What does it mean politically for Joe Biden, who has been virtually silent on most of this? Fox News contributor Charlie Hurt, former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee is with us. Governor, I start with you, and we can only pray that this all ends peacefully for people on, for everybody involved here. The officers certainly had a very difficult job ahead of them as this began tonight. So far, it looks like the arrests have gone as planned. We can hope that happens. However, we do have other problems that exist here. How this was able to build into this movement. What does it say about, a mindset in this country that is literally supporting radical extremism abroad and even on college campuses? What does it say when a rabbi in Columbia University's campus has to tell Jewish students to stay home? It's not safe to be here. And it's not just Columbia, it's Harvard, it's Yale, it's USC, it's Berkeley, it's UT, it's all over the country. Your reaction, Governor?
It looks like the police are doing their job, but here's the problem. They'll do their job, but Alvin Bragg won't do his. He's so busy going after Donald Trump that he'll have these kids out in time for hot donuts and a warm cup of milk before midnight. And that's pretty tragic, because unless there's some serious consequences, unless they're criminally prosecuted, unless they get treated like the January 6th defendants, they get to spend months and months in jail before they even get a trial date, unless those kind of things happen, unless they get expelled, unless their parents are made to pay for the damages. I love what Alan Dershowitz said, let's sue them. But here's another thing. If Donald Trump were president, you know what else would be happening? There would be federal civil rights charges being filed against these people, because he knows that the state's not going to do anything, not Kathy Hochul, certainly not Alvin Bragg, not Letitia James. They have their own agenda. But the federal government could be doing something and could be charging for the civil rights violation of Jewish students. And every parent of Columbia who's paying $90,000 a year to send their little darling to this school full of little snots, they need to get their kids home. Need to get them home, and then they need to sue the school, get their money back, and file a class action suit on behalf of all parents and alumni for the disgraceful way that Columbia University has just dripped right down into the toilet bowl.
Yeah, you're raising a lot of good points. Charlie, let me go to you. And I brought this point up many, many times. We watched in the Summer of Love in 2020, we had 574 official riots around this country. We had dozens of dead Americans. We had cops that were pelted with bricks, rocks, bottles, Molotov cocktails, thousands of injured police officers, billions of dollars in property damage. But we had fixation on one insurrection, one riot, and that was January 6th. They had all the videotape evidence available to go after the people that were responsible for the rioting in the summer of 2020. It shows a clear double standard. When this all began at Columbia and some students were arrested, they were immediately released, and immediately their records were expunged. So it seems Liz Cheney's been awfully quiet about, quote, insurrection, unless it involves Donald Trump. And it's kind of sad, because I would argue that any riot, any time, any place is wrong. And now we learn that they withheld evidence. Now we learn that they ignored 5 people that would have testified that Donald Trump called up the National Guard. They never interviewed the Capitol Police Chief who requested the National Guard. A lot of questions that they never went into now is becoming revealed. But 574 riots, we were told they were mostly peaceful. Well, are they going to claim that this is peaceful tonight, too? Are they going to say it's okay for students to take over an entire hall at a university the way they took it over violently last night?
Well, let's be clear. If these were Trump supporters shutting down an American campus, or these were Republican voters who were behaving like this on an American campus, hectoring students for their religion, none of this would be happening. This would all be wiped clean immediately. The FBI would be on the scene. Everybody would be arrested and thrown under the jail. It would be a whole different scene. But of course, I think probably the most important thing that we will remember from history when we look back at this time is the degree to which Democrats, from Joe Biden all the way down to rogue local prosecutors, have taken the Justice Department and taken the system of justice and used it as a political weapon to go after all of their political enemies. And in this case, of course, Democrats are they made a deal with the devil. They're desperate to get these urchins here, these loudmouths, these punks. They're desperate to get them to vote for them. So they're in a real pickle, and they don't know what to do. Obviously, they should be charged to the fullest extent, just the way we all said should happen for January 6th. Anybody that was trespassing, charge them with trespassing. The problem is they went so far beyond that and charged them with all this other stuff for which there was no evidence whatsoever. And they've tortured. What they've put these people through is just astonishing. But the other thing I'd like to say is that the Columbia University has a massive endowment. It's tax-free. They created the situation. They allowed this to happen. I can only imagine what this operation is costing the taxpayers of New York City. I hope that Columbia University will be forced to pay NYPD for every dime of overtime, of personnel, everything, every cost that they're having to spend for this should come right out of Columbia's endowment.
That's such a good point. And how many taxpayer dollars? I think you can, it's a fair time to ask the question. These universities like Harvard, I think the last time I checked, Governor Huckabee had some, $37 billion in endowment money? Why are taxpayer dollars going to these institutions? And here's another sad part, and I don't want to really get too political tonight. I'm really hoping for a peaceful end to what has been a very difficult night for the NYPD, having to clear this hall out. And that would be my first prayer for everybody. But the idea that taxpayers are footing the bill for these institutions of higher learning and the American taxpayers footing that bill, and then you can add to that, student loan forgiveness. Well, why should plumbers, carpenters, electricians, and nurses and people that paid their own way through school be funding universities that actually foster an environment where extremism like this can exist?
Well, I think Charlie's made a great point about the endowments, and I hope that the endowments have been drained to virtually nothing by the time the lawsuits are finished and people are suing these institutions for the manner in which they did not protect the students that were there for an education. I hope that also there would be a real understanding about the message these kids are talking about. They say, divest. We demand that you divest from any dealings with Israel. Okay, let's start right here. You wouldn't have a cell phone if not for the technology that was developed in Israel. So are all of those students, are they willing to give up their cell phones, seedless watermelons, tomato grapes, irrigation for agriculture, heart stents, and about 1,000 other things that were developed in Israel? Because if you really are serious about divesting, you're going to be living in virtually the land of the Flintstones when you could be living in the land of the Jetsons. And that's because these young kids don't have a clue what they're talking about when it comes to Israel, which is a very free, a very innovative, and an extraordinary nation that they ought to be saluting and thanking God for, rather than demanding that it be annihilated.
Yeah, Charlie, as we watch this unfold, we still have no idea how many more students may be inside. We've seen dozens arrested so far, a very difficult police operation. Thankfully, so far, according to all reports we have, it has been a peaceful effort by the NYPD. They have successfully extracted the students that have taken over this hall. We hope it ends that way for the benefit of all sides, but it's still unknown, as this is an ongoing effort, what's actually going on inside there.
Yeah, and you make a really good point about not wanting to make this political tonight. But of course, this is happening in an election year. The blame for this lies at the feet of not just politicians currently, but going back years, empowering these universities to do what they do and to miseducate a generation of students into the craziness that you get from these idiot on the street interviews with these morons. But the thing that we can't take away the fact that this is happening in an election year, and Joe Biden is to blame for it. And my favorite thing is the thing you just mentioned, which is, this is going on at a time when Joe Biden has violated the order of the Supreme Court, broken the law, violated the Constitution in order to do all this student loan forgiveness nonsense where, as you point out, plumbers and carpenters are having to pay for ridiculous college educations for students to hate Israel and hate Jews. Well, that's a great election year. That's a bumper sticker. You're paying for this. And all of these scenes that we're seeing on TV tonight, we've been seeing last couple of weeks, and it's not going away. We're going to be seeing it for months. Donald Trump can just say again and again, thanks to Joe Biden, you're paying for every bit of this.
Yeah. All right. We appreciate both of you. Thank you, Charlie Hurt and Governor Mike Huckabee. Thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.